I think the first and foremost thing about understanding the economy of the game is understanding the sources of incomes that you can have, right? And that being said, I think there are one, two, three. There are three ways you can get money in this game. Number one is round, win, or loss, right? This is probably the most obvious one. A lot of people already know this is a lot of people know this is a thing, and this is something they're consciously aware of throughout the entire game. Um, this one will go into more depth. Actually, let's just do that first, and then we'll go down and break down the other ones. This is the one that's the most important and the one that most people are conscious of throughout an entire game. Obviously, there are other ways of making money, but those will never be the main meta, because for one reason or another, they're either too inflexible, too random, too hard to predict, or too hard to get to work consistently. So round, win, loss, you're gonna have two ways of getting money: winning and losing, right? If you win a round, you are guaranteed $3,400. Yes? I think this is something we all know. If you win a round, you get $3,400. We all know this. This means that you are able to afford absolutely nothing. Just kidding. You'll be able to get a rifle, no armor, so you're gonna have to pick one or the other. Most of the time, one round win won't mean a whole lot. You need to get multiple. One round win will usually give you only enough income to sustain you on a light buy next round. If you do end up dying, obviously, this is why a lot of players, they're like, don't die, bro. Don't die though. Don't die before the round win. That is why, because you don't want to rebuy your gun, because you know that your round win won't be able to sustain that. Does that make sense? This is why I am a big believer in, it's not about how many kills you get, but how many deaths you can avoid, because of this alone. Obviously, there's other factors, but this is the biggest factor of why you should always avoid dying rather than getting kills, right? If there's an opportunity to get a kill, but it's too risky, don't take it. Don't swing into a 1v5 hoping to get one, and then you're like sitting back here like a fucking, like, you think you're hot shit or whatever, and then you're like, dude, yeah, dude, I got my one. Where's your guys' one? No, dude, you're actually griefing, because now you just lost all your equipment for one kill, and that's grief. Because you just lost. Let's say you're on a full kit, right? Let's say you're on a full kit on CT side. Best case scenario, you're an M4A1 user, $2,900. And let's say that you're aware that they have AKs, and I'll go more into depth about this later and why I say 650. So let's say you have 650. So now you're at $3,550. That's not including util, right? And just their rifle and armor alone, that costs more than what you can possibly earn back if you win the round. That is why you avoid dying at all costs. You avoid dying if you can help it, right? It's about the deaths you avoid rather than the kills you get. That is why. And for loss, this one's a bit more complicated. A lot of people don't really understand how loss works, especially in lower elos. High elo players, they'll know. You can ask them too. There's going to be 4 stages of loss. Just like the 4 stages of grief, guys. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be like the 4 stages of grief, 4 stages of loss. It gets progressively worse for you as you go on. Your first loss will always be $1,400. This is a constant. Your second one will be, I don't remember. I think it's $1,900. And then it just goes up from there. You get $2,500 on the next one, and then you eventually reach the good old total of, holy shit, I need to look it up. Oh, I got it wrong. My bad. It's actually like this. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. Boom. All right. So this is the 4 stages of loss. At stage 4, you're earning the same thing as a round win, and there's a reason for that, because at this point you're losing so badly that the only way to compensate, the only way for the game to compensate you and like give you like a fair chance of from getting like completely steamrolled and putting you back in a way to win the game, is by giving you just as much income as they do. But that's it. That's before, the other team wins 3 rounds. First things first, never force on this income. When you press tab in your game, why doesn't it show up? When you press tab in your game in a normal game, it'll be over here. It'll say loss bonus, okay? There's going to be 4 little bars, and each of those bars is 1 stage of loss bonus, right? So let's say 1 bar is lit up, you're at stage 1. 2 bars are lit up, stage 2, so on and so forth. Never force if that bar is only lit up by 1. The reason why I say this is because you'll almost... Wait, shit. I got it wrong. I said never force. I meant always force. Sorry. Always force on stage 1. I'm so sorry. My brain is jumbled. It's fine. Keep on going. Always force on stage 1. The reason why I say this is because let's say you full save, right? Let's say you full save. You full save on stage 1. You earn 1900, you full save. Next round, you'll have what? 3500 max. Does that make sense? Because this is 1900 plus 2400. And what does this get you? We covered this earlier. What does this get you? It gets you not even a full kit, because even if you don't buy util and you only buy a vest and an M4A1S, best case scenario, that will cost you $35.50. So you won't be able to get a full buy. Now, do you see where I'm going with this? Now, look. Imagine if you force this, right? Imagine if you force this with 1900, you can get yourself light armor in like an MP9 or something, right? And that's still pretty good. MP9 light armor, that's a good like light buy. And you force this down to like, I don't know, $50. You'll have $50. And then let's say worst case scenario, you lose your force buy round. That's fine, because now you have $24.50. And then now you save. You always save on second loss. And the reason why I say this is because next round, look, you'll have $49.50. What does this get you? Anything you want. Rifle, armor, even a helmet if you'd like, and full util with a kit. If you don't buy a helmet, you can get a kit as well. And now you have a full buy going to the 3rd round. Yes, or hero op. You can also hero op as well. That's a thing. But you would never be able to do this on a second round loss. So what you've effectively done is you've given yourself the best chance to win on this round instead of just throwing the round away for no reason. Does that make sense? Because if I save here, I've pretty much effectively forfeited the round. Because what are you going to do with no armor and a pistol? What are you going to do with no armor and a USP or like a deagle or some shit? Or even with the deagle. That if you buy a deagle here, it completely it completely throws away the whole point of saving in the first place, because you only have 1200. So the only way to make this work is by not buying anything, right? And the only way this will work is if you full save here, have no armor and just a USP or a Glock, and you kill someone to get that like $200 kill reward, and then you full save the next. And then on second round, if you lose, on second round, you can buy yourself just armor and a rifle, no util. So that's pretty much a thrower as well, because now you have no util running into a full buy. So you just lost this round as well. And then you have to save again. And now you just thrown off your entire economy. So the reason why you force here is so that way you don't save this and then save this, and now you've thrown away 2 rounds. Right? Because if you save, you're pretty much throwing away a round, unless if a miracle happens. But you can't depend on miracles. You want a bit of consistency, right? The consistency is what wins you rounds consistently. That's why it's in the fucking word, dude. Okay. So, you don't save here, or else you're going to be throwing way more rounds than you're supposed to, okay? So you want to give yourself the best chance to win. You force first, you save second if you lose. If you win, always buy. If you win a round, you always buy. There's no way around that. You always buy after a round win because you want to snowball this, right? You want the other team to be put on this system rather than this system, because every round win guarantees you a 4 loss bonus, right? This is too much math, my brain hurts. Okay. Let's make it simple then. If on stage 1 loss. Oh my god, what the fuck? Okay. If on stage 1 loss, force. If on stage 2 loss, save. If on stage 3 loss, buy. Or I guess force is still the same thing. If on stage 4 loss, you always perma-force on stage 4. The reason why I say this is because if you full buy in stage 3, chances are you're gonna still have a bit of money left over. So that way, if you force on round 4 or on a stage 4 loss, you're still gonna have a pretty much a full size kit. You're gonna be missing some util pieces here and there, but for the most part, you'll be fine. So and this gives you the best chance to win, right? If you force, you're giving the reason why. Fundamentally, forcing into a round means that you're trying to give yourself the highest chance to win the round. So this is why you do what you do here, because what this does is that you have a three out of these 4 rounds, you're gonna have the best chance you can of winning them. 1 round you forfeit. But imagine if you did instead, like, you listen to like your low elo friends and you save the first. Look what happens. Now you're forfeiting 2 rounds in favor of trying to win 2. That makes no sense. When you could force this round and still have pretty much the same economic momentum, and then also still have a chance of winning 3 out of 4 rounds. That's a 25% difference. That's huge. That's the reason why you do that. And that's the reason why you do what you do. Okay. And that's CSGO economy. That's pretty much it. There's a bunch of little nuances. There's a bunch of little nuances that you'll figure out later on. Obviously, there's no real reason for me to cover those because like they're mostly redundant and there's like silly game details that you'll never really need to know.